Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining me today as we explore an exciting topic in the field of the education. So incorporating local culture in English teaching material for undergraduate students. So I'm delighted to be here with you. So before we divide into the heart of our discussion, so allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Kadek Dwipayana. So I'm an educator with a passion for language acquisition and cultural diversity. So in this field of the education, I have had a privilege of working with undergraduate students and witnessing firsthand the power of incorporating local culture into English language teaching material. Purpose of the presentation today, I would like to share with you my insight on the significance of incorporating local culture into English teaching material for undergraduate students. Our culture identify is an integral part who I am, and then and it is play a crucial role in shaping our perspective, beliefs, and understanding of the world. By integrating local culture into English language education, we can exchange student linguistic skill, foster intercultural competence, and promote sense of pride in their own integrate. I provide you with a clear roadmap or a rundown of our presentation. So I provide you with a clear rundown or roadmap of our presentation. So let's take a look at the main point I will cover. So the main point I will cover is their introduction and then discussion, then the last is a conclusion. So you know that our background is including for the introduction. So that's why there are background for incorporating local culture into English language teaching material. So the background is that teaching material are an essential part of the teaching and learning process. So the teaching material play an important role in improving student achievement and motivation in learning. And then what is problem? So previous you read the article, you can find that problem. So the problem is a switch in the focus of learning from one that is a teacher-centered to student-centered. So the teaching material play an increasingly important role in the teaching. So that's why there's a problem for the article. And the next slide is the what's the important. So the important for the article, you can find out that the good teaching material will provide enough space for the student development, so as to encourage and support student independent learning. It means good teaching material will provide enough space for the student development. That's why that's important for good student development, provide enough for the teaching material. And the next slide is their comparison. So previous with the article, you can find also a comparison. comparison. So the comparison is means that teaching material should also consider student culture and background, as language is an inseparable part of culture. So therefore, when a teaching English in the context of English as a foreign language, the English language culture and the culture of the English language culture and the culture of the student themselves must be taken into account. So that there are point 7 and the 8. So let's go next slide. So this slide is talk about and discussion about what the benefits for the article. Right. So the benefit of the article, you can also get or define the article. So the benefit of the article, so local culture can be very helpful in the teaching English to non-native English-speaking students. And then integrated Filipino local literature or Cordilleran into English material for first grade student in the Philippines. So the result of her study show that local literature help the student to learn English as well as keeping student rooted in their culture. And then what's the purpose? So the purpose of the man university or this article, it means the article of the article. So the university one main purpose is to train and educate future teacher of Hinduism. That's the purpose of this article. And then prospective Hindu teacher are trained and educated in Hindu education department. So he learned to SH80. English is one of the important competencies that its 80 students must master, both for the certain and future need. So English as an academic language serves as means to understand ideas and foreign journal and literature for their studies. So the teaching English in its ID has some unique condition for teacher. So the first is the special nature of the student. So the students need teaching material that not only provide them with English language material, but also Hindu religion's material. And the second condition is that the exciting materials for the English course are considered too heavy and really heavily on reading, with no activities for listening and very few activities for speaking. And the last is that the third condition is the inherent mindset of the student. They don't need and they don't want to learn English, assuming that they don't or will not need English for their studies. And the next, there are discussion. So discussion, there are the first is the researcher was designed and implemented as a research development using a simplification of the idea development model by Dick and Carey. So this object of the research is to develop English teaching material for students of Hindu religion education study program. This means so data collect from data collection from research development. So this using research development. And the next slide is who's the subject or how many. So previously you can read the article, who's the subject and how many. So the subject of the study were 82 first semester student from EHD A1 and EHD first semester students from EHD 1A and EHD 1B at Denpasar campus. In this discussion in developing in the materials, so there are 4 phases of development. So the first was is blueprint phase, and the second is draft writing phase, and the third is the draft testing phase, and the last is the final production phase. And then the weaknesses. So it was found that the exciting material had 3 weaknesses. So the first weakness is the topic of the material are considered too unfamiliar to students. So there were five reading texts, and context of the text was considered too high for the student level. So the second weakness is the level of the difficulty. As many as 88% of the students found the material very difficult. So it was found that the reading texts were too long, used advanced diction, and used a lot of vocabulary for a foreign language, especially Sanskrit. And then the third weakness was caused by the layout and presentation of the material. So the student find that material boring as they relied uh, relied heavily on structure, exercise, and the detailed eyes. In addition, the material were printed in black and white with very few pictures. So to overcome the weakness of exercising materials, the researchers developed the material based on the needs and reason on the student. So to do this, the researcher decided to use material that were culturally familiar to students. Okay, so this slide, previous you can also find out the color and image effect. So the term effect here means that the material is able to arouse students' interest and curiosity. So this can be achieved by using interesting feature and attractive color schemes. So attractive image and color will reduce students' boredom when studying the book. Image and color schemes can also serve as a bookmark, so which helps students navigate the material. So students can also certain image to mentally mark certain part of the material. So just so the last session they read or work on. As mentioned earlier, one of the weakness of the exciting material is monotony of repetition of very limited types of activities in the material. That's why to overcome this weakness. So the new material were developed with a variety of activities. In addition to reading text, the new material include relevant feature and colorful presentation, structural points, speaking activities, listening activities, writing touch, and language game. So other language activities in the new material are added to provide students with activities that can be used by students when studying independently at home. Alright, so this page is a table of result of questionnaire. You can see there are question and then answer, strong, agree, neutral, disagree, strong, agree. Okay, next slide. After you show or read the table result questionnaire, you can get the finding. So the finding for the table result questionnaire is the majority of students prefer the new material over the existing material. So students prefer the existing material in the term of the attractiveness. So difficulty level, engagement during learning, content, and overall liking. So interviewers with students show that students like the fresh and colorful look of the new material. So that they also like the picture included in the new textbook. So the students stage that the picture, color, language game, and also game activities in the material help them reduce their anxiety and stress level. So the conclusion, so previous you can also get read the article, there are conclusion. So It can be concluded that the incorporation of local culture into English language education, we can create a more engaging and mindful learning. So experience for undergraduate students. So this approach allows us to bridge the gap between language learning and cultural awareness, empowering students to become competent communicator in increasingly interconnected world. So thank you once again for being here today. So now let's open discussion, and do you have any question? So please contact me. So if you want to more understand about what's there and what is he, when what is the purpose of the article, you can read the article previous, and then I think it's enough for our discussion and presentation. So the last I would like to say thank you.